Marvel Rivals is known for many things. Its loving and supportive community, its roster of iconic Marvel heroes, but most of all, it's known for its Gooner skins.
Last because she has one of the most popular cosmetics in game.
No way.
Skins,
Really?
of course.
Is
This
it?
is gorgeous.
Let's show you what it is. Not this one. This one.
Now, Rivals wasn't always known for its Gooner skins. When the game launched, there were no skins that showed a lot of skin. Now, some design elements were noticeable, but it wasn't terribly egregious. But this all changed with the release of Malice in Season 1 of Rivals. Well, yes, Psylocke did get her classic skin that happens to not have a lot of cloth in the back. That one is pretty much directly ripped from the comics. Now, this skin, being Malice, is also based off the Marvel Comics outfit of the same name and character, but Rivals did accentuate some features, while taking away others like the long piece of cloth covering her front and behind, basically leaving Sue in just a thong. At the time of this skin's release, everyone all over the internet was talking about it. Rivals or any other mainstream game hadn't really done anything like this before, but this led to great success. The Malice skin for Sue Storm became very popular. I can attest to seeing it in most of my games I played during Season 1. We thought at the time that Malice was a rare event, but little did we know what would come next. Emma Frost was released in the next season, and with her came Jiggle Physics and her MVP. But she wouldn't be the full Gooner character. No. That comes later. We wouldn't see another quote-unquote Gooner skin until the July of 2025 summer event, with Luna Snow particularly catching people's eyes at the time. So much so that Guang Guang talked to the outlet Variety and told them that Rivals was not a Gooner game. While Luna is wearing a swimsuit, it is very sexualized. I mean, look at the way the lines just draw your attention to her chest. I'm not sure how they even coded that Luna outfit with one hand, but, I digress. With the summer update came other skins, including the first two male Gooner skins. Loki got a summer outfit where he wore a Speedo where not much was left to the imagination, and the Thing became the thong. Thor also got a skin in this update, but it was just him wearing shorts. It wasn't really that sexual, to be honest. There's nothing that draws your attention to it, but, you know. Was this progress for Rivals? Did this signal that men would also be getting the Gooner treatment? Well, we'll have to say more about this for part 2 of this video. For now, let's continue our journey down Gooner Lane. Now, for whatever reason, the second wave of summer skins was released in September of 2025 and included our next Gooner skins. We got Invisible Woman, Mantis, and Summer Punisher. All of these skins draw your attention to the diligent work of the 3D modelers at NetEase whose job it is to model asses. Poor guys. Next Gooner skin wouldn't come until Rogue's release, with her Savage Lane outfit. Well, yes, once again, this is a comic outfit. They seemingly took away the piece of cloth hanging in front of Rogue to leave her in just a thong. Don't lie to yourself, this skin was not for comic fans, it was for the Gooners. I think this is the first skin I've seen in a video game that I'm afraid is going to accidentally flash me while I'm playing. Our next Gooner skin touched down on March 26, 2026, with this one being Infernal Idol for Magic. It seems that before going out to the clubs, Magic forgot to put on pants. It does happen to the best of us, but we do have to remain vigilant. This one, in my opinion, foreshadowed something. Rivals was getting more bold. Maybe so bold as to add not just a Gooner skin, but a full Gooner character. I mean, look at this Magic skin and tell me this isn't meant to make all the men playing the game cough up $10. That Gooner character I've been talking about would come a month later in the form of Black Cat. I mean, just look at her idol animation. Look at her voice lines.
Let's you and me find a secret little corner and get out of these sweaty costumes.
Everything about her is screaming sexy. Now, there's nothing wrong with sexy women, but there is more to Felicia than her sex appeal. Now, I'm even more impressed that they made a whole character while using one hand. A bit after Felicia released, Hela would get a Primal theme skin where her top was basically 2 long pieces of tape. What was also funny is that she was put in a mini pass, which his theme was the future, I think. I didn't really play during this time, but I remember seeing it on Twitter and everyone was very confused. Now, I do like hot goth as much as the next person, but come on, this is a little ridiculous. More goons wouldn't hit the scene until Rival's second summer event, with a good amount of men being part of it this time, more than the first, but one thing is different about them, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Cloak and Dagger would get skins, with Dagger showing more skin than Cloak. Surprisingly, Ember Frost's skin ended up being pretty tame. I mean, it's just a normal swimsuit, and it is pretty odd because, Rivals does have a tendency to turn women who happen to be sexy into just that and ignore everything else about them. Widow also got a Gooner skin, and before the rework that was just announced was honestly the most attention she got since launch. Daredevil also got a summer skin. Lady Loki also got a fairly tame skin, with this being the first time I can tell that a male was more sexualized than a female for a related skin. White Fox's skin is also pretty tame. Some other skins I haven't mentioned so far can be classified as Gooner skins, such as Rogue, Cap, and Magneto Season 8 Battle Pass skins. Once again, Rogue gets the most revealing outfit, whereas Mag and Cap just kind of have ripped shirts. And with that, we've caught up to the present day as of the writing of this video. As you can see, Gooner skins have increased over time and, in my opinion, become more bold. Only a few female characters have escaped the Gooner epidemic, being Jean, Squirrel Girl, Penny, Wanda, and Storm. We'll specifically talk about Storm later in part 3. Now that we know the history of the 3D modelers and Nettie's jobs, let's talk about the more obvious elephant in the room: sexism. So, many people online have talked about how women in Rivals are way more sexualized than the men. Even back when Malice came out, a tweet made by @GotThatMaddox called out the sexism. Hey look, Leon Kennedy.
Holy shit!
As we discussed in part 1, the men have gotten Gooner skins, but let's analyze them. Well, for one, even when the men are showing more skin, it isn't as accentuated as the women. The first male Gooner skins actually do a pretty good job of equal sexualization. I mean, you can pretty much see everything going on with Loki as you can with many female skins. I didn't mention in part 1, but Johnny also got a summer skin later on, and he wore a normal swimsuit with no frills or design choices that make you lock in on a certain part of him. Why did his sister Sue get a specialized boob window instead of a normal swimsuit like Johnny? The lines on Sue's skin draw your attention to her chest, which is intentional. My friend Archangel Shadow actually pointed this out to me. If you look at the female Gooner skins, they each have intentional design choices that make you look at their chest, rear, or crotch. Guang, what did you mean by this? The next male Gooner skins are from the current summer event. Isn't that kind of crazy? It took a whole year for more male characters to get more skimpy outfits, whereas the female characters got them consistently throughout the year. Anyway, let's take a look at our most recent skins. Daredevil, wearing normal shorts. Although it does look like he may have a secret baton in his pants, I'm not gonna lie. We got Strange, wearing a Speedo, but that Speedo is mostly covered by a jacket, and there isn't really anything that makes you go, wow, look, I'm looking at his crotch. Although, I guess it kinda happens with anyone wearing a Speedo. Peter's skin is basically the same thing, but the main difference being that he's given a little bucket hat. Cute! Reed is just a normal guy wearing shorts. Do you see the issue here? The female skins are always wearing exaggerated, sexy outfits to evoke their curves and other assets, with lines and design choices specifically made to draw your attention to them, whereas the males just kind of get normal outfits that show some skin and don't really make you lock in on anything. So, when people claim that Rivals is an equal opportunity gooning game, mention this to them. This is the difference. Although I would be remiss if I didn't mention them adding Mjolnir to Captain America's pants for the summer skin. Now, that was some pretty wild stuff, I have to say. It does have that over-exaggeratedness that the female skins have, with the design of Cap's suit making you go to his crotch. But they ended up nerfing his hammer, and now it's normal. So much for equal opportunity. Cap could have been groundbreaking. Now, I want to mention one other thing, that being Storm. Storm seems to be the only Rivals female character besides Penny, who's depicted as a child, to not get any swimsuit Goonerbait skins besides Jean and Wanda. Why is that? For Jean, I actually have no idea. I'm surprised the Goblin Queen didn't launch with her. Same with Wanda, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, have you seen how people online talk about her? But for Storm, well, I have a theory, and it's racism. A user on Twitter named @KDAEcho pointed out in a thread that Storm hasn't had a purchasable skin in the shop since March of 2025. This was in response to another user claiming Storm didn't sell skins, and that's why she hasn't gotten any more. Which then led me to realize something. Storm has not been part of this epidemic, which is good in some ways, but it does raise a lot of questions. I mean, there's clearly a demand for a Storm Gooner skin. Look at this quote tweet and its likes. This tweet and its likes really got me thinking. Why does Storm, one of, if not one of the top 3 most popular iconic X-Men of all time, not get any skins? And furthermore, why not a Gooner skin? I honestly believe it would sell like hotcakes. And this led me to conclude that it is honestly probably because of racism. Every white blonde woman in Asian character gets Gooner skins, but the others don't. Now, Penny makes sense. She's a kid. She should not get a skin like this. If she does, Nettie should be rated by whatever the Chinese version of the FBI is. My guess as to why White Fox doesn't have one yet is just because nobody really talks about her, so I doubt the market would be that big. Now, we all know Rival's love of white blonde women, but I didn't realize it reached such a Garthan levels as to exclude Storm. Now, knowing my luck, by the time this video is out, it will have been announced that Storm is getting a swimsuit skin and another wave of summer skins coming this year. But I think the fact that it has taken this long is a problem. NetEase, the people love Storm. Give her a skin at least, even if it isn't a Gooner one. China itself does have a culture of racism against black people, and I can't really talk because I'm a white guy in America, but I wouldn't be surprised if China's culture towards people of color didn't affect NetEase's decisions for making Storm skins. Rivals in gooning. It's like peanut butter and jelly. Now, I would not want to eat this peanut butter and jelly, but to each their own, I guess. I wonder how this video will age. Maybe by next year it'll just be a skin of Spider-Man wearing nothing at all, swinging dong. Probably not, but stranger things have happened, I guess. I would like to thank my friend Ghost Cloaked, along with Kaipods and Archangel Shadow, who provided very valuable feedback as I made this video. I really did want this video to be good. I know a lot of it is comedic, but I did really want to address this issue. My search history is completely and utterly cooked after this video, but that's all I have to say about this topic. If you liked the video, thanks, I guess. Bye!